myself, not the way I should. Even as a child, I was misunderstood, except by my mother. Lord bless her heart is good. Yeah, oh, I was never good with pain. I swear it shows today. I pick up purple haze, not just on occasion. Shit was every day, trying to escape the fact that time has come and gone. How much I've wasted needing someone's love, and now I see I needed to love myself. Now I see what I need. Trust me, baby, I can understand when I was on my own. Dreaming on my thoughts and I thought that I would die, yes. Never really knew that's my excuse for getting high. Shout out all my people who need people still alive. We the best, yeah, ain't no equals. When I make tonight a movie, you gon' want a sequel. But shit, did we get attached? That's my bad. I just need to breathe. I just need some space now, baby, it's not you. Even if it's all love, we can see the truth. If we never take this time, then we're losing time. You know how I get when I lose my mind. Only little while till I lose myself. Only little while till I need someone else. And I can finally see that time has come and gone. How much I've wasted needing someone's love, and now I see I needed to love myself. Now I see what I need.
When I think about all the time that I spent on that do she love me not bullshit, I don't really regret them. It's just, I just think about how much more time I could have been putting into myself, into God, you know? Just putting my energy into learning, into growing, into giving to the people who actually showed me love. Yeah, I'm much happier now.
Bro, this is exactly why I'm deleting Tinder, dog. Her profile picture is her toes, and I still might swipe right. I need to get off
Oh,
this app.
nah, Daniel Williams?
Yo, Lord have mercy.
4 feet,
bro.
bald-headed, JRT stepping, singing.
Well, I mean,
Daniel?
Definitely taller 4
Yeah,
feet
you
now,
definitely got a
but
little
yeah.
bit taller. That's my
Yeah,
man's right
bro.
there. Where you been at, LA?
LA, bro. I was out in
That's
LA.
crazy. You been on the beaches?
Yeah,
How the
bro.
weather out there?
You said the weather or the women?
Yeah, man.
They good.
I mean, they
chill.
probably the same. Nice as hell. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, man?
bro. They chill.
Don't disrespect PG, man. We still got it all around here. You
Yeah,
seen
bro,
the 3 Chick-fil-A's we out over there?
Nah, yeah, bro.
Yeah, I know you
that's
like
definitely a lot of
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
LA don't got that, at least as far as I know. But you know what's cool, man? I heard you be singing too.
Yeah, bro. I definitely been on my singing, so you know
That's
what I'm saying? Just
crazy,
here and there,
man.
you
I
know?
be singing too. You know me, I be rapping, singing,
Oh yeah,
writing,
Yeah,
mixing,
for-
maxing.
Bro, you know what? You can send me some stuff. Send me some stuff. What you
For
working?
real?
Yeah, fax me,
Instagram,
bro.
phone is cool. You said fax?
Fax me, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn how to do that. That's cool though. I
Yeah,
ain't worried
bro.
about none of that. But I
I'll send you my fax
appreciate
number.
you coming out here,
Yeah,
man.
bro. Yeah, for
Thought
sure.
you forgot about us. You know what
Nah,
I'm
bro. I
saying?
never forget about hometown.
Nah, that's cool,
Bro.
that's
Never forget
cool.
about here. Yeah, bro.
All right, man. Well, you
Well. Listen, man, I got to tell you. Now, Carol, I know this is your first time on the Muse,
Yes.
but obviously your first time meeting D. But I told you about D and his split personality, right?
Okay,
So
now I understand.
Now you understand.
Now I understand.
So, and you really don't want to meet Lando because Lando is just off the chain.
Well,
Yeah.
I was not prepared. It's a pleasure to meet the many of you.
Yeah.
The Sibyls of you, if you will. Very nice, very nice.
So it is fantastic. I'm excited, D, because this is the first time I'm hanging out with Carolyn on the Muse. You know, she's usually she graces with all on the other shows, but this is the first time we're hanging out on an. Well, we did the St. Croix Taste of St. Croix one evening.
Okay.
So this is not the first time we're doing an evening show, but this is the first time on the live showcase of the Muse, and I'm really excited because Carolyn, you know, her network of relationship and people that she knows is just incredible. And you know, tonight's guest, I mean, you gotta love this. You gotta love this up and coming artist. I mean, he has an incredible insight in terms of how he sees things. He writes and create music based on just how he envisioned things. And I'm really looking forward to being able to have a conversation with him. But most important, the video you just saw, D, is the premiering of his music video on the Muse tonight. So the opening of the show, that was the music video of his premiering of the video on the show. And so let's bring up our guest artist on the program this evening. Let's say we make sure we got him here.
What's up, everybody?
Hey!
What's up, guys?
Beautiful job. Beautiful.
Markel, what's going on, Markel? What's going on, man?
Oh, man? Thank you for those kind words, Anthony. Man, it's hard to sit there and like listen to someone hype you up like that. But thank you.
We're just so happy that you're with us, man, because
this
is the platform. You know, I don't know if you know the definition of the Muse. Muse means the God of inspiration, right? And so what we try to do is we try to bring inspiring entertainment news and showcase, especially when we have new up and coming artists that we really want to give them a platform on our radio and television platform. And so tonight is your opportunity for us to be able to get to know you better and to really showcase and share you and your talent with our audience as well. So welcome to the Muse, Mark.
Welcome.
I'm excited. I'm super excited. This is an amazing opportunity to be here. Honestly, a blessing, and it just kind of feels like we're gonna have a great show tonight.
I feel like we already have. Just watching the video you just put out, that it touched me so much. Message music, and I don't mean to date myself too much. When I was listening to you, I got the feeling that I got the first time I heard Marvin Gaye come out with Troubled Man, and the music. No. Let me just. I lived it. I can say it. I can only be an expert in my own experience. Wow. And I'm saying when I heard his words then, and I heard your words, and I thought, I just don't get to hear message music as often as I would like to. And that's how I felt that was. So, what do you think?
Thank you so much for saying that. I mean, Marvin Gaye, you got to be good. That is a.
No, I'm telling you,
that's a big shoe, right? That's a big shoe. That's a big shoe right there. She's putting on the pressure, man.
You're gonna be busy. You're gonna be busy.
I mean, I'm glad that you were able to pull from that or pull that sense of message from it. I feel like the time for writing timeless music is back again. I grew up listening to artists who purposefully made timeless music. Like they wanted to make it so that it meant something and resonated with the people that listened to it. And we don't have that a lot today, especially not in my generation or anything. So, you know, I know it's against the grain a little bit, but it's what I want to do. I'm not going to do what I don't want to do.
But you know, it shouldn't feel like it's against the grain. It should feel like it's a necessary thing to do. And it is. My t-shirt, listen, my t-shirt says "Tune out toxic music."
Okay. Are you serious?
Yeah, this is a t-shirt I designed for my brand, and I got a line of them because I believe that lyrics in songs don't uplift anymore, and they should go back to that. They should tell a story, just like Carolyn said. And your song talked about you. It made me want to sit back and contemplate and think, which is what music should do.
Yes. Oh my God. Like,
No, that's how I was feeling. And I'm listening to those words, and just sometimes people are hurting and they say all kinds of things and it comes out in a very different way. But for you to say, I should have loved myself more, that's a realization. There's a trip to get to that realization. But for you to be able to share that, it wasn't just so you can sell music. You're hoping that someone else is going to hear that message and react to it the way you did, in a very constructive way. I'm just blown away, but I'm blown away by all your music anyway. So.
Thank you.
But I loved it. But tune out toxic music. I agree. If you can uplift me, I mean, and others, it's past the generations. It doesn't matter. It's just it is timeless music, and that's what timeless music does. So tell us, how did you get that deep? What are your roots?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for everything that you said about it. You're right. I wrote that song with the intention of, I wanted to reach everybody who felt alone or felt scared to be vulnerable. There's a lot of reasons why the song needed to be written, as I'm realizing, and there was a lot of things that were coming out from it. And that's the first single intro to the album, Love, Rage, and Enlightenment. And like you said, that Love, Rage, and Enlightenment was all really realization of self, how to love myself. I was angry at myself for not walking in my fullest potential earlier, like hyper suppressing myself, and enlightening that all I had to do was love myself and accept love and really give. You know, that it was really the key to this was always learning to give. And so it did not click for me very early, I'll tell you that much. Like, I was so focused on the like money and fame and things like that. I wasn't really focused on like chains or anything. I just felt like I had something to like prove to myself and to the people around me who had doubted me. And then I had a lot of different experiences, and one of the most recent ones was going to Los Angeles and going through a series of just really unfortunate events, coming back home, having to come back home, recognizing like I needed to focus on my vision, and I needed to get real and raw and honest about what I wanted to say. And I needed to know what I wanted to say if I was really going to be doing this. Otherwise, there was no point. I needed to have a purpose, essentially. And I knew I had one. I just needed to figure out what it was. And once that was the case, I realized my purpose did fall in line with inspiring other people to tap into their purpose, and inspiring faith and knowing that if you do walk inside of your purpose, if you do trust yourself and love yourself enough, if you do trust God throughout the process too, as He's an abundant giver, then you will accomplish your purpose and you don't have anything to worry about. So that is the synopsis of how it came to be. But there's how that song specifically came to be is there's
now,
other.
I told you I don't know this brother, right? I met him for the first time, right? Is he deep or what? D.
Oh,
is he
yeah.
deep or what?
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
you
Listen.
normally need many decades to get this deep.
In a time where we are just inundated by toxic masculinity, okay, and I put that in quotation marks, the masculinity part, because a lot of times we think that it is very masculine to act certain ways and to hide emotion and to hide feeling, and masculinity is the polar opposite of that. If you're a true masculine man, not male, masculine man, you're not afraid to express your emotions and express your feelings because you have them for a reason. And when you put it in music and you present it to the world in a time where, you know, they try to make fun of people for, you know, he's soft because he was talking about he shouldn't have done this and he shouldn't have done that, and blah, blah, you know, No, this is what we need. We need young Black men making music saying, hey, you know what? I felt this hurt, and I'm going to tell you that it hurt, and I'm going to tell you why it hurt. You know, because if you continue, if young men continue to keep that type of pain inside them, when they do finally let it out, and they do it in the wrong manner, it becomes destructive.
Yeah.
Your music gives life, and that's what music should do. It should give life. It should not destroy. And you got it.
So one of the things I didn't share with you, Carolyn and Markel, is that D is also a spoken word artist as well. So
amazing.
Yeah, so he goes deep as well.
I could tell, man.
I'm about to tell you, and just listening, exactly what you just said about that. And oftentimes we see that. Oftentimes young men can be very angry, and they're angry because anger, it feels like a powerful emotion. It feels like a masculine emotion, but really under that anger is pain, and it's pain that hasn't been resolved, so that they get angry because it looks tough, but the pain is deep. And so for you to talk about your pain and your vulnerability and all of that, and just to be that honest about it, that's what I'm saying. You need decades to be this deep.
Thank you.
I applaud that. That's beautiful.
I'll say real quick, like what you mentioned on, it was actually, well, when you mentioned about how vulnerability, or men need to be more vulnerable. I mean, I noticed that early on, like from who I was as a kid, I had a big heart, and it seemed like everybody just wanted to like make fun of me, push me down because of that. It was from women that I learned that vulnerability was strength. But in writing, because women are suppressed their whole lives, they're controlled their whole lives, and the thing that makes them strong is their vulnerability. It's like the one thing that stood out to me so much, that they can walk so openly inside of that, and that it's a weapon. You know, it can be it's a powerful weapon that can be used to heal others. And it's amazing. So I learned that from my mom, my sister, but in the writing of this song specifically, it was from, I don't know if you guys know Barbra Streisand.
What? I'm a big Barbra Streisand fan.
What's her last name again?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Strasberg? I said Barbra Streisand.
Do I need to hit my playlist?
Oh my God.
The question is, I don't know if you know Barbra Streisand.
Maybe I don't even know.
Is that deep or what? At his age, he's talking about Barbra Streisand. Could you believe that?
Wait, I'm almost offended because I didn't bring it up.
And I let that lay. The fact that he actually sampled her title. I mean, I didn't even.
Dude, I wrote the first verse of the song, and I had written maybe 3-5 different hooks, and they were all good, but they weren't like good enough to like, I should have loved myself, I didn't love myself not the way I should. They didn't resonate with the message. And I watched my sister had me watch Funny Girl with Barbra Streisand in it. And I fell in love with her character, mostly because she was just so free on stage. And for like the whole night, I was trying to figure out what it was that made her so free, and it's because she was so comfortable walking in her vulnerability. And when she sang people who need people, when she sang people, it was people who need people are the best kind of people. She was literally saying that I need people, and it was this vulnerable moment for her, but that's what makes me who I am. And I was like, oh, that's why you're amazing. You fully accept everything about yourself. I was like, dude. So I had to sample the title and give her a little shout out to this generation, because she's just so in the present and focused, and it was amazing watching her and listening to her. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, at this point, this is where we want to segue into your next selection music piece. And this, now D, I'm going to prepare you for this, because
you got to get ready.
You got to get ready for this video. This video, I mean, you think you are, as a cinematographer, D, you think your stuff is deep.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself for this one, bro. This young man.
Am I going to have to go get some tissue? Do I need some tissue?
Or the edge of the t-shirt, either one. Just
okay. Wait a minute.
I'm pretty sure I got something nearby. I'm telling you. Get ready. That's all I'm saying.
I'm ready.
All right. This particular piece coming up called "Learn from the Sky," from on the piece with Merkel on his piece with his second selection.
Okay.
Markel, sorry.
Now the Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus. policy of open borders is a great threat to the health and well-being of all Americans. Now you see it with the coronavirus.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words.
Exactly why.
Lost with no regrets, I got no regrets. I've been working on myself, I've been hold a lighter to the sky, cause I've been dying, trying to survive. My paradigm is where we living, all the dreams and vision God's saying, man, God be given. I feel grace inside my bones, all the things I've known are now starting to change. Welcome to the world we live in. I can really see this just start to rise, yeah. I can really see us burn from the skies, yeah. I can really see us burn from the skies, yeah. So much easier said than done. I know I'm not the only one struggling under the sun. We're all trying to understand which way I'm spinning. I think about it when the blind is. I'm praying on it when the sun sets. Please don't ask me for advice. I'm still working through my nights. I'm still learning through my vices. Oh no, they notice I'm changing. The culture will blame me. It's the culture that changed me, though. Suddenly I'm stuck in the dance. I see me lost in the trance. I see me in advance. That's why I said, welcome to the world we live in. I can really see this just start to rise, yeah. I can really see us burn from the skies, yeah. I can really see us burn from the skies, yeah. Welcome to the world we live in. I can really see us burn from the skies, yeah. I can really see us burn from the skies, yeah.
You know, I heard someone say once that a dead whale is worth more than a living whale. And that really got me thinking. I was like, yeah, so is a dead tree, actually. And dead fish and dead animals are worth more than living. And that really has me thinking, you know, the attention of a human being. We will always be worth more controlled and diminished than free and thinking in this current society. And why? It's because we conform to these toxic ideals. We set it up this way, but none of these laws are set in stone. These laws are not the laws of physics. We can change the direction that we go in right now so that a free thinking, vibrant man, woman, or child in society is worth more than a controlled one.
Yo. Let me kick this one off. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so first of all, visually, that was the most painful yet loving video because it was a really good blend of all the ills that the world has, but there was just like these little splashes of hope. You know, just like these little rays of light, and it made me think. I had to look the name of the song. I couldn't think of it right off, but Childish Gambino, Donald Glover had a song called "This Is America," and
boy,
and that song, when he did that video, now his video was the truth. I mean, real talk. Okay, it was just like, you know, it was very visual. It was very mental. What your song did was it took actual real life situations and it incorporated it behind your lyrics, which was just like phenomenal. I mean, you opened up with the speech from our former number 45 president, which, you know, it's just like, okay, you know, but the visuals of just the world, as you say, the world we live in, the world we live in, man, it's so beautiful, yet it's so broken.
Yeah. There's so much hope inside of it.
Man,
and
that was deep. That was powerful. I like that.
That is exactly what. And Markel, some of the things you said, the idea that you have one of the lyrics is working on myself. What that implies is humility, but it implies most people say I have no regrets, which I'm always frightened when I hear people say that. That means they feel they don't make mistakes, and if you don't make mistakes, you don't need to improve. But working on myself means I see things in me that I don't like, and I'm trying to fix me. And then when you say, don't ask me for advice, I'm still working through my vice. And then you got me. I know I'm not the only one struggling under the sun. I'm like, can you just, any one of those lines could be a haiku, and we just, you know, we could just be done with it. Poetry, and the music is beautiful, your voice is beautiful, and the words, I normally don't get that blend. Over the years I have danced and moved to songs, but the lyrics were horrible, and when I listen to them now, I'm thinking, what was I listening to? And then other times the lyrics are beautiful and the music is bad, or the voice is bad. You're a triple threat.
Oh wow.
So Markel, your genre of music is alt pop, alternative pop, and R&B. That's an interesting combination for me. I don't know about you, D and Carolyn, but that the blend of those two genres to me is very dynamic. And so I wanted you to talk a little bit about that, and then you also talk a little bit about love, rage, and entertainment.
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. Love, rage, and enlightenment. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, let me ask you, Anthony, do we need to take a break right now?
No, we're good. We're good.
All right, roll with it. I'm trying to behave.
Yeah, it's you know, the songs that you guys are hearing tonight are the more mellow side of me. But there was so much rage, and there was so much love, and there was so much fear, and there was so much hope inside of me. And I had to, my goal is to be as transparent as possible. So I loved pop music growing up, but the R&B is what taught me like the deeper levels of music. It taught me like how to actually write and storytell and make people feel. Pop was how to like make millions feel, but R&B was like speaking to individual souls. And like I knew that I could combine both. I knew I had what it took lyrically to write the R&B and vocally, and then musically to make something catchy, you know, that everyone can vibe out to at the same time. So that's why I combine the two genres, because then I say alt because also there are some songs where I'm screaming like hip hop. I'm screaming like hip hop, and I'm yelling and I'm raging out at the same time, and like it's eccentric, and it's a little different. I wanted to break out all boundaries that you would try to put a black man in, that you would try to put a young black man in, to let everyone know that it's time. As you saw at the beginning of the music video, Learn from the Skies is on love, rage, and enlightenment. But you know, with the gong that's hitting and me sitting in the field and meditating in the hourglass that's moving at the same time, it's like, even while our president is talking, even while there's a national pandemic going on, we have a choice to recognize what time it is. And for a lot of people, it was time to fold. But for me, it was it's never time to fold. So for me, it was time to just recognize everything that I needed to recognize about myself, to focus on myself. Because if I really wanted to be of value to the world, it starts with recognizing your own unique value. So I just recognized it was time. And in that recognition, I realized I have to walk so true to what I feel. I was so scared to call myself a pop artist and I'm surrounded by Black people all day. You know, those are my homies, those are my boys. They're doing hip hop, they're doing rap music, they're in the studio. Yeah. I'm over here like, I'm still working on my night, you know, like singing. I was like, bro, time to break all boundaries. And what it's done is sent a ripple to all of my homies, all of my friends, all my sisters and my brothers too, that are like, oh, I think I can do a little bit of what Markel is doing because people mess with what he's doing, and like maybe I can do that too. You know, I'm like, yeah, you definitely can. Like, no, I don't know who told you didn't have to, or like that you couldn't. You know,
trendsetter.
So, yeah. That's the
well. This is the part of the show where we're gonna shine that spotlight on you, and that gift God has given you talent. And so tonight, he's going to premiere his new single, Raw. He's going to perform live on the Muse. And so we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to be joined, when we come back on the other side, we're also going to be joined by Tracy Hamlin. She's backstage waiting to come on screen. And so while he's performing live, you'll also have the opportunity to hear from a seasoned, beautiful songstress in terms of Tracy Hamlin. She just recently did her concert, and we want to hear all about it when we come back. When we come back, folks, live performance in just a minute. We'll be right back.
All right.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dance Hall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the Tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo.
Temperature rise, gear vibes in ya. This a hot one. Link up, connect, bust a sweat when you're dead on the hot one. We gonna spice it up like fire.
Hey.
Back, and this is part of the program where we're going to get a live performance by Markel, our featured guest on the Muse Spotlight showcase this evening. And Markel, we are ready when you are. Just let us know. We're ready for you.
This is my uncle right here, guitarist Myron.
What's up, Punk? What's up, Punk?
Hey, Markel. I was getting ready to say, brother, don't turn around, but there is somebody right behind you. If you need me to call help, think 3 times, flare your nostrils, and wiggle your left ear. I got you.
Yo.
But you know him, so we good. Okay.
Yeah, I know him a little bit, but
right,
he's in the he plays with Love. We're just gonna play our song, commercial break raw. It's for you to take a commercial break from your life and just recognize that again, it's time to get raw. All right, ready to move on. Raw, everything I do, I swear I'm doing it raw. Even myself when it gets hard. I promise myself when it gets hard that I get up. And the whole world's changing. I'm sitting back and I'm watching it all unfold. What are we to focus on? All I know is raw. Tell little mama I'm celibate, I don't get raw. And
myself when it gets hard. I need to look up and pray to God. I promise myself when I give raw. I promise myself that I give raw. I promise myself that I give raw. I'm talking raw. I need you and your family to get real raw. I need a whole gang, whole crew raw. I know you know me. I only really do things raw. And I talk big, but you know there's humble and nah. I need something I ain't really running on plug. What? Why do you wanna focus? What do you wanna hold? Yeah, I need you to get raw. One time, slow down, raw. I know you and your family need to get raw. Look inside yourself and tell me, what do you see? Is it a dream? Divinity? I need you to get raw. All right.
Woo! Yes.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wow, and great job, Uncle.
There.
Hey, Tracy, what's good?
Tracy, hi.
Hello. Bravo, Marquette.
Man.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
Wow.
isn't he amazing?
Yeah.
And it's so
Incredible.
wonderful. I know the studio audience, the viewers and the listeners know Tracy Hamlin. How could you not? Because she is incredible. And I especially, Markel, wanted to make sure that you made the acquaintance of this seasoned veteran that sings and feels like you do, that has that honesty like you do. So go and grow. And Tracy, how's everything in your world?
Everything in my world is amazing, and I'm so impressed with you, Markel. I mean, the maturity and your conversation, as well as your music, has just completely blown me away. I love everything that you've done. And even earlier, Derek was talking about the last song that we listened to, Welcome to the World We Live In. When there's so much sadness and sorrow in there, but when I listen to your music, it touches my heart and it gives me hope as I look at all of those images that bring sadness and sorrow. So I love the combination of how you did that. It was absolutely brilliant. And I love that even though, you mentioned that your friends, you feel bad about being a pop artist because folks want to put you in a box. Don't let people put you in a box. Okay. Just continue to write and record the music that fills your soul and touches your heart, and don't let people you don't even have to put a label on it. You can do what you want, but I love what you're doing. I love the vibe of what you're doing, and I'm just amazed. I keep going back to the song Welcome to the World We Live In. I wrote out the lyrics when you said we will always be worth more as controlled and diminished than free in thinking in this current society. Whoa, I want to be a songwriter like you. That is just so impressive. But the way that, I'm listening to the chords along with the music and the images, and I just think you brilliantly delivered that video. So bravo to you.
I agree.
Oh,
and can we give a shout out to Uncle in the back?
And
Yes.
On so many different tracks, but oh man, I'm honored to be in your virtual presence. Like that is
oh my.
You're blowing my mind saying you want to be a songwriter like me. I'm like, what? I'm real new to the game, fam. Like honestly, so many more years to put on this. I feel like there's so much more room to grow, and it's people like you who. I mean, you said something right there. You said you don't even have to put yourself in a box. I think that, but since I'm new, like I don't know that, and everything tells me otherwise. So to hear from a seasoned veteran, to hear from someone so talented and so raw, that I don't have to. It's like,
shameless segue. That was a shameless plug.
No, but let me tell you, you have substance. And so much of today's music lacks substance. And because you have substance and quality, that is going to give you longevity. And, you know, a huge part of my story is when I couldn't get a record deal, I started my own label. And when I wasn't getting booked for gigs, I became a promoter. And when I didn't get booked for jazz festivals, I started my own. So I always like to tell folks that opportunity is not going to personally come knock on your door. You've already stepped out on faith. You're already taking risks. Continue to do that and create your own destiny. And yes,
and can I say what Tracy won't say about herself? Tracy, in how many countries have you performed?
It is, I think 58, 59, something like that.
What?
Right. And can you just tell me some of the artists that you have worked with, sang background for, sang with?
So the first one that comes to mind is Carlos Santana, because it was an out-of-body experience twice to sing with him. Marcus Miller, Shaka Khan, Esperanza Spalding, Gloria Gaynor. It's been a lot of them because, you know, it's just been incredible to stand next to Shaka Khan and wail. So exactly.
And did I mention
just to name a few? Just to name a few.
Just to name a few. And she didn't even get to the really good long list because she tends not to keep that all written out. But in my mind, I know the different ones that I adore that she sung with, Will Downing, and things like that. So I'm just saying, but Tracy is so. What I love about her is she's an artist that continues to give and looks for individuals like yourself to elevate and highlight. She just launched, because once again, she is the founder of the Sweet Jazz Festival just outside Washington, D.C. Not that she wasn't producing jazz festivals for like the last how many years. We got to scratch off COVID in the Caribbean, however you want to say it. But she just launched the Loudon Jazz Experience. And the proceeds, a portion of the proceeds went to support schools that train gifted young people like you, and I mean young in a very, very positive way.
Yeah, no, I mean that is beautiful. That's the kind of stuff that I eventually hope to be doing myself. You know, like you're just the things that you've already said within here about taking the initiative yourself. Everything inside of myself has told me that's what you're gonna have. Like been prepping me. That's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to move in that way. And I was someone before you guys are saying I'm wise or whatever for my age. I really feel like I can only track this from the last 2 years because before that, I wanted everything handed to me. I wanted the deal. I wanted someone to sign me. I wanted a manager. I did not want to build anything myself. But today it's like now I'm building, growing my team around me. And I love it because it feels like I have something to do, first of all. But it's also like I'm also enriching people's lives and I have a sense of control. Although I'm not that huge I'm trying to let go of control these days, but I do have a sense of control of who I let into my life and the love that I'm able to put out, and where I'm able to focus it. So that is a great place to have it. And just listening to you is amazing because I'm like, you did it. You did that. You did the things that I want to do.
And let me tell you what else, because I chose the road of being an independent artist. You know, after 5 albums and multiple singles, and because I do jazz, R&B, and house music. Because I own the masters to my CDs, my albums, I not only get paid from royalties as a performing artist, I also get paid monthly because I own the masters. So, as a matter of fact, today was payday. Yay!
Hey.
And this has been since 2009. Every month, I get 2 checks from Sound Exchange. So, if I didn't own the masters, I would only be getting 1. So something for you to think about, really. You know, while COVID was awful, there were some blessings in it as well, because it really just opened the door for people to really just yearn and want to hear what we're doing. And for independent artists and the internet, you can just get out there and sell a ton on your own without the assistance of a record label.
And Markel, everybody that you are on this panel with right now is independent. Everybody. I'm an independent author. I'm an independent filmmaker. Anthony is independent. Carolyn's independent. So I heard you say, you're trying to, relinquish a little bit of control. It depends on how you look at control.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to control what people do, that could be problematic. But if you want to control your future, your longevity in this industry, you have to maintain a degree of control of who you are and what you put out there. The reason that there's so much the reason there's so much bad music out there is because a lot of these artists are unfortunately controlled by a force that says, I gave you this amount of money. This is the kind of music you're going to put out.
Yeah.
When you don't have to answer to that, you can do it how you want to do it. And you're right. You don't have to be in the box. You can be who you choose to be. And there are so many artists right now. And as you grow in your career, you're going to run across them that's going to come up to you and say, man, I wish that I could produce music like you're producing.
Man.
Yeah. You have to be able to have a degree of control over what you present to the world, because at the end of the day, the work that you put out is a reflection of Markel. It is not a reflection of the record companies. It's not a reflection of your fan base. It is a reflection of who you are as a person. And you only have you. So if you put out something forced upon you, it's not legitimately and authentically you.
Wow. So
So
well said. So
Poetic.
Ooh, so well said. No, and those look at that. He gives us the. I'm telling you, so very well said, and that's just the beauty of it all. And I listened to Tracy as you describe the multiple genres of music that you adore, that may or may not always have matched. And I listened to Markel saying kind of where he is. I think it's interesting that he's already taking a lesson from you, even though he hadn't met you personally, virtually before.
Yeah.
So that's a very good thing.
Yeah, and you know what else is interesting? Be mindful of who your audience is, because again, when I wasn't getting booked for gigs as an independent artist, I didn't have the money to have somebody from a rep that's connected to Billboard to help me with charting. And a lot of these folks that book artists, they're going to Billboard to look at the top 20. So as independent artists, we don't have the cash machine to play the politics that are involved in that. And so what I did was I went to major cities. I went to see where my sales were coming from. And I said, you know what? And I can't even believe I was this bold, don't know where it came from. Went to club owners in New Orleans, Atlanta, Birmingham, Baltimore, my hometown, and said, look, you don't know me. This is what I've done. This is where I'm going. And I propose that you allow me to have a night at your club. I get 100% of the door. I get 100% of my CD sales. You keep the bar and the food, and we both promote. It was shocking to me how many people said yes. And it was shocking to me how much money I made versus how much money I would have made if they had just hired me to perform at their club.
That's right.
Wow.
I love the unconventional way of making it happen.
Totally unconventional. And, I called on, my husband does graphics. He does my website. I called on my family. I got 100 hard tickets made, and people that I knew, I said, okay, when is payday in this area? When is payday in that area? Here's some hard tickets, because everybody's not on the computer. And when I tell you, I called on my village and they showed up for me. And it takes a village of great support to help us thrive. So know who your village is and call on them, and know where your audience is. And if you don't have one, create your own audience just amongst your friends and family. And then they'll tell somebody and they'll tell somebody. But we're just living at a time where you have to get out there and create your own destiny.
So that is, I'm fortunate enough to have that, a nice fan base and audience of people who really believe in me, just because I think maybe it's because I'm young or whatever it is.
It's because you're good.
Because you're good. It's because you're good.
A little bit of that.
Yeah, you're good.
The days of a gold star just because you stood up, no, it's because you're good.
Yeah.
But no, that story that you just told, Tracy, so inspiring. It's the stories that I wake up and I listen to on YouTube, like as I'm working out in the morning, as I'm making the tea or as I'm making my breakfast. Like these are the stories that I program myself with, because it doesn't come naturally for me to think, oh, you should do this. Like I have to reprogram my mind, because my brain will think like, oh, you know, maybe one day when my manager books me this gig or something, you know, like I still have to, although I have businesses and ventures of stuff that I'm doing outside, my artist brain and my business brain are so different. So like, I'm still learning to combine the two of them and like,
it's a tough,
make it work.
That's a tough combination. Being the one of the most challenging things, and Tracy, I'm sure early on you probably can attest to this, and I'm very guilty of it. Self-promotion. You know what I mean? It is by far the most. I could create all day long. I could produce and create and do all of this stuff, and I could tell you about it. I could talk to you about it. But when it comes time to sell you on it, I'd be like, I'm gonna see if somebody else can do that. Not because I can't, but because as artists, it's our work, and so we're sensitive to how it is received.
Wow,
you know. And so when you have to try to wear all of those hats and be the artist and the businessman or woman in your house, in your office, in your space, it can be daunting. But once you can chip all the ice off your feet and be like, you know what, if I don't do this, it's not going to get done.
Yeah.
It changes everything. You have to go and do it. And then you become more, it's just like anything. You become more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that world, that world is going to soon, those paths are going to cross, brother. And when they do,
they will.
You're affirming it. You're affirming
it's going to be totally worth it.
Yeah, and you also have to be mindful of having thick skin, because everybody is not going to love what you do.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the hardest lessons that I had to learn was that there are people that will say I'm the greatest singer in the world, and there are people that say I can't sing at all. But the difference is you have to understand you're not everybody's preference, but understand who your preference is, who really prefers your music. So, and everybody won't, but just gravitate towards those that do.
You know, it's an interesting thing that like, and I don't know how much time we have left, but I'll tell a little short story.
Well, we have a couple of minutes left, so.
Okay, so short story. When I first put out the album Love, Rage, and Enlightenment, I was a little worried because everyone was saying it was good. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is amazing, this is amazing. And then I finally put it on Reddit, and I put like one of the songs on Reddit that I thought was like really experimental and that not everybody would like. And somebody was like, yeah, this is trash, bro. This is complete trash. And I look at it, I look at the comment while I'm in the car with one of my friends, and I was like, thank God, bro. Finally, someone says it's trash. And he was like, what are you talking about, bro? I was like, bro, if everyone's telling you you're good, you're probably bad. Like, they probably don't want to tell you, like, the truth. Like, it's the controversy. Like, it has to be like a ripple of like, this is some people who hate it, some people who don't, because like there's this balance to this thing, and like I don't believe in extremes either. And it's like I have that American Idol thing of like people who audition who are bad, like who are on American Idol. Everyone probably told them that they were great, so they went on there and auditioned. I'm like, bro, that's my worst.
It is all about personal preference, and you have to ignore those people that have keyboard courage. Because they will say,
yes,
okay, they have keyboard courage, so yeah, ignore them.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
we
you.
only have Carolyn. We only have 5 minutes left, and I'm not sure if we're going to do justice with the
with Tracy
beautiful video that you created for Tracy's concert.
No, that's fine. I'm happy to come back because this was.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say that.
But Tracy and Tracy. So, but let me just say that the Loud and Jazz experience that Tracy, part of this brainchild, this entire concert that she produced, that I was at on Sunday and had the ability, had the option rather of videoing on my, not that I didn't have cameramen there, but videoing on my iPhone and sharing with Anthony. I have been listening to that music. What I love about it, I mentioned, is the fact that you are helping other artists, but you are doing such a good job of creating a whole new audience that didn't even know you. People left their fans, and that's how I feel about Markel this evening. I don't know if the three of you knew him before this evening, but I know he has 3 fans. I know that Village just got a fan.
I'm going straight to Instagram. Soon as we get off, I'll be like, yo, let me go and pull out Markel.
Now, Markel,
I checked out Tracy after our first after our last show, and so Tracy, I loved your R&B, but I also like house music. Okay, so I was like, all right, let me go check out what Miss Tracy Hamlin has got. So I'm sitting outside waiting on my daughter to get off work. And so I went to your website and pulled it up. I was like, yo, I thought the R&B stuff was dope. I was like, this house music is the truth. Your voice. And Markel, this is why Tracy and you did great to meet each other, because she got R&B, jazz, and house all in one family right there.
Right.
I got
what I'm saying? And she does each and every one very well.
That's it.
Very well. So don't
Thank
be
you.
afraid to explore. And you could be pop, alt, R&B, hop, jazz, rock, whatever you want to, anything you want to be. Your title for your brand could be this long, and it can just keep on going. It can look like a prescription. Just be who you want to be. Make the music that you love, because at the end of the day, that's what's important. Make the music that you love. Share your gift, man.
I agree.
You got it. You're gonna go far.
Unfortunately, guys, we're out of time. I want to thank.
How can people reach Markel? Markel, how can people get in touch with your music?
You can reach me on Instagram first. That's my main platform, or Facebook. Instagram at it's Daniel_Markel. That's MARQUEL. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Amazon. I'm on Apple Music. Search Love, Rage, and Enlightenment. Hopefully, you guys get the theme inside of there that I love making all types of music, because that album has all different types of music on it. I hope you guys love it. If you like what you heard tonight, and you can catch
Stay independent.
DM me. You know what I'm saying? I love conversation.
And Tracy's in the DMV too.
Hey,
Yes.
awesome.
Marco,
You're in the DMV where?
I'm in Bowie, Maryland, and
PG
I'm over
County?
here for. You're in PG County?
No, I'm really good friends with your mayor, but I live in Northern Virginia.
Oh wow, yeah. So we're PG County, but that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, we'll have you guys back. Markel, Tracy, as usual.
We got to go.
Anthony,
all right, and Dave, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go out with the video "People Who Need People" with our guest artist Markel this evening.
Awesome.
Folks,
Thank you guys.
take care. Well, have a good evening.
Much. This has been a blessing.
Night.
Bye.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, yes. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. And I never loved myself, not the way I should. Even as a child, I was misunderstood, except by my mother. Lord bless her heart is good. Yeah, oh,